Welcome back, guys. We are back with new clothes. Me and Fernando, that I haven't seen him for a while.
Yes, in a while, yes.
Yeah. You look nice, by the way.
Thank you. You look nice too.
Thank you very much. Guys, we're gonna talk about the third pair. We already have seen the moon and the sun. Then we've seen the Empress and the Emperor. And today we are gonna deal with the Temperance and Strenght. The two cards that are related to the number 3. So it's flying apart as a concept. And the planet associated to it is Mars.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
With these two cards, somehow we can use the word managing, because whenever we deal with Mars, we know that something is up and requires our action, right? With one card, it happens within, with Temperance, so we have to manage our inside. And with the outside is the Strenght card. Okay, so we have to manage something that is happening that requires our precise action. It's not just random. It's like you need surgical precision to go ahead. Yeah, over to you.
Yes, of course. And as you said, these third pair of major arcana is related to Mars, also known as Kuya or Mangala in Vedic astrology. And, Mars is basically I call it Mars the empire of the will, because Mars is all about will, how we use our personal, our free will in terms of how we engage the world. Mm-hmm. And you told about management, but it's basically our will in relationship to that management, right? And yes. and the number 3, it specifically relates to our personal will and how we use it to overcome hindrances by flying apart from that we don't no longer need, or that which inevitably just has gone away, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we
might get something else that we like more.
Yes. And we have 2 cards here, which is Strength and Temperance. And once again, following the male-female principle, strength is things that fly apart outside. It's will that we apply outside. And in essence, it's basically, the hindrances that are, outside of us. While Temperance is basically flying apart from things that are inside, applying our will to things that are inside to overcome hindrances that are inside of us. And the Strength card relates to the 3 of clubs and the 3 of spades.
Yes.
And the Temperance card relates to the 3 of hearts and the 3 of diamonds.
Mm-hmm. I think I have it here. I have.
Yeah, you just show the graphic.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in a way,
that's my Mars card.
Oh, I see. Cool. And you see, strength, as I said, it represents the male principle. And once again, it alludes to things that are outside of us. And here in the Strength card is basically the character and the will to overcome external things, while Temperance is the moderation and control that we use to overcome internal things, right?
Yeah.
Strength card relates to outer force, how we use our outer force to enforce our will, and Temperance relates to the internal force that we enforce to control ourselves, right?
Yeah.
Strength is the character to overcome somebody that's coming to you and is gonna steal your purse. Mm-hmm. You gotta fight that man, or you gotta fly away from him. While Temperance is the control and moderation that you use in order not to hit somebody in the face that you really dislike, right? and at the same time,
or not to break down after you got mugged.
Exactly. Which is that's an even better one, because it's hitting someone would
you can't really separate those, can you?
Yeah, that's really true. That's even better. It's basically depression. That's a better example than the one I use. And once again, strength is the outer force, just like the cards that you showed.
It's
The
more
man hitting,
visible also, isn't it?
yes, the man hitting a wood, and temperance is more about us inside us, you know.
Yeah.
And at the same time, is strength relates to things that are beaten outside, while temperance relates to things that are beaten inside. You know, I beat my
Yeah.
competition, I beat my enemy. Temperance would be I beat my depression, I beat my, you know, my negative
Insecurities, whatever.
hindrance that goes inside of us. And
Yeah.
in the end, it's number three. These three major arcana relate to those things that we decide, right? What are we going to do with our will? What are we going to decide to do with our will? And at the same time, you know, the number three is the first of the difficult cards.
Yeah.
It's
And
the number.
sorry.
Continue.
I usually like to better understand the cards, to see the flow between cards. So I would remember at the number 2, we are getting what we need, either inside or outside. And then what happens when we get something? It could go well, or it could require managing, handling, and deciding what to do with it. So
Yes.
at the number 2, I'm receiving. Fine. What do I do with what I've received?
Yes.
It's the number 3.
Exactly. And when you decide what you got to do, you got to leave things behind, or at least you got to overcome certain obstacles.
You get to
And
leave that stage where you were just receiving and you were in need. Now that I've had satisfaction of my needs, I'm capable of taking action, either inside and outside, because I'm not starved anymore.
yes.
Metaphorically speaking, you know?
And at the same time, actions had repercussions, and whatever action you take, you will have a reaction, and that reaction is basically you're going to fly apart from that you probably came in contact with in the number 2,
Yeah.
because you no longer need it.
You cannot always be filling the tank with petrol. Then you have to go with your journey. You cannot always be there.
Exactly. That's a great way to put it. You got to burn the things that you need to continue your journey.
And that's a beautiful way to see Mars. I love it, because Mars doesn't have a great, I don't know, reputation.
Yeah, but Mars is very important in our lives.
Absolutely.
Because if it weren't for Mars, we wouldn't be doing this video, for example, because we just wouldn't have the will to do it. And you know,
we wouldn't have a sun.
Exactly.
Oh, meaning the planet. We don't have a sun, me and Fernando.
No, not yet. Yeah.
Not yet. No.
But you know, the number 3, I always compare it to a fork in a road. You know, like a road diverge in the woods. Like there is a path, and suddenly that path divides into 2, and you have to take the decision: which path are you going to take? From which part are you going to separate yourself from? From which path are you going to fly apart from?
It's amazing, because I tend to see the things more internally, and you tend to see things more practically, which is the sun and the moon. It's amazing. I love it, because I learn.
And you know, that division in the road can be, you know, what do you want to study? Do you want to study arts, or do you want to study science? And you take a path and you fly apart from whatever decision you didn't take. At the same time, you know, internally, emotionally, you have a relationship and your partner does something that you don't like. What are you going to do? Are you going to fix that relationship, or are you going to leave that relationship? Are you going to forgive him, or are you going to, you know, separate yourself from them? And that's like more of an internal decision that you have to take in relationship to your emotions and your sentiments. So once again, we start seeing how this journey begins. You know, we began with the birth. We continued with, you know, coming together with what we needed to continue that journey. And now in this journey, we're, you know, deciding which path are we going to take? Are we going to go this side, or are we going to go that way?
No, great. I like it.
Yeah, that's another nature metaphor that I use for the major arcana.
yeah,
You
definitely.
know,
It
it's the
has,
seeds, the fruits, the leaves, and the fruits, the seeds, the leaves, and the ground, right? Well, the major arcana is like the path through that nature reserve where the trees and all that is there.
yeah. I also like to see through these cards. In Mars, we see our ability to be effective with our action and with our feelings, because our actions or our feelings can work wonderfully against ourselves. So with temperance, we learn how to let the feelings be in a way that is going to bring results for us. It's not going to be an hindrance. Okay, so it's an asset that I have. I can process emotions, and with the strength, I can draw beautifully, or I can just mess up with my pen.
Very true.
Okay, but if I refine my action, then I'm gonna have an asset for myself. I'm gonna have a tool. Okay, that's why I've chosen out of intuition, really an agate and a wood, because if you know how to do it, it doesn't require a lot of energy, a lot of strength, just enough, placed with the right pressure, right time, and right angle, and the wood would break. So that's how I see Mars, basically. Like when it's a good Mars, is precision. It's not random, like random action that takes a lot of energy. It's the right amount. That's how I tend to see those cards.
That's a very good way to put it.
All right, then. Shall we then move on to the next card and say
yes,
the next time?
Yeah.
We will have the highest priestess and the Pope, or the Hierophant. I'm not very friendly with this word Hierophant. It sounds funny to me.
I love the word Hierophant.
You do? I don't.
Yeah, that's what I want to do. That's what I want to become when I grow old. A Hierophant.
Maybe because I'm in Italy, so we have the Pope, and you have.
Yeah, but we call the Pope in Spanish. The major arcana is also called the Pope.
Yeah, we do also Papa.
El Papa.
Italian.
And
El Papa.
And the high priestess is called La Papisa.
La Papessa, sì.
La Papessa. La Papessa.
Assolutamente.
Absolutamente, la Papessa.
Absolutely. Yes.
We gotta do one in Italian eventually.
Yeah, I think we're gonna do that.
Yeah. I don't know Italian, but I can fake it.
You nod. You go like, Great, then. I thank you. It's a pleasure as always.
Take care until the next time.
Next time. Ciao, Fernando. Take care.
Ciao.
Ciao, ciao.